Testing, testing, testing. Hello out there, You Will Make It TV supporters, followers, and viewers. Thank you for tuning in with us over here at the You Will Make It TV YouTube channel, where we share weekly inspirational quotes, insightful topics, and divine messages. We hope that even if you're not even in our local community or our nation particularly, we hope that our channel can be an inspiration to you from wherever you are in the world or from wherever I am in the world. And that's why no matter what I'm doing, I always find time and space to come right here and share words of inspiration, right through the internet, right through my phone. And it's been great. It's been fun, really. It's so much excitement that comes with knowing that you somehow are inspiring others with absolutely not a dollar in your pocket at all. It don't have anything to do with money. It's funny I mention money because this stream today is about what inspired this topic. Was I was looking at an article this morning and I said, what? This is on the news again? It's not only is it on the news again, it's just a different victim this time, but it's also shows that this like never really stopped. Like, how is that even possible for you to deposit some money and only within hours you notice that the funds are no longer there? So I'm just here to give my reaction and commentary to people who claim they have been experiencing this. Now, Bank of America is not the only bank, I guess, that people experience this with, but Bank of America has been in the news a lot. They say a lot of people are sitting back, just kind of waiting to see the long-term results that Bank of America ends up coming up with for the people, because they assume that whatever changes Bank of America makes, these must be the same changes that are coming to most banks, right? But yeah, I'm just giving my reaction and commentary real quick. Number one, a part of my reaction is, how does this even happen? I'm sure the people whose accounts were hacked and have been hacked, or people that can share that experience, can tell you they wondered the same thing, because it's their money in that moment. They wonder, how the hell can this even happen to somebody? You literally physically go in and deposit money into the account. Y'all excuse the water in the background. I was making me a fresh cup of coffee real quick. Uh, I'm still confused myself. I can't believe I seen that type of stuff is still happening. It's ridiculous. Bank of America used to be one of the top banks. I'm like, what's going on? Okay, because the most I've seen they've advised people to do when you notice missing funds out of your bank account is to call your bank and report it immediately, so that they could possibly, because it's not always promised. They be saying, report it to your bank so they can give you a provisional credit. We know that that is usually an option with banks. I mean, they should. It shouldn't have to be much more you have to explain, but it's, why would a person want to call and apply for a provisional credit when they had the money in their bank to begin with? It's like trying to deflect the issue a little bit, right? Telling people that. It really is. It's like trying to deflect the issue. I had to put it on pause real quick so I could twist my coffee cup closed. All right, I made a good cup this morning. Yeah, like, how is this happening? I would be mad as a fiery dragon If I deposit some money and a few hours later it's just missing, the fuck? You call the bank and they can tell you everything positive to try to keep you calm, but I'm just sorry, there's no sense that comes out of there. That makes no sense. But that was a one Houston man story recently, because you know they got Bank of Americas all over these days. And it just exposes itself. Like people don't really want people talking about it. Maybe you're a part of who's stealing the money. But it still doesn't make sense. Don't you think? Oh, that's what it said. They're watching Bank of America and what security measures they might use or take in the future. That's what I'm just quoting the news articles. Cause I'm like, clearly there's no need to watch Bank of. Why would you and watch what another bank is going to do with their security? Why don't you already be working on what security measures you think should be taken for your own bank? That makes no sense. To me, that makes absolutely no sense. And they wonder why people are homeless and stuff because it's not. I say both are being talked about, the whole scamming of accounts and the homelessness crisis. But once again, you will make it TV. When it comes to our reaction and commentary, how are the two not linked? How are you going to keep saying that homelessness has nothing to do with people's bank accounts being cleaned out because they were robbed? Like, come on, bro, make it make sense. You used to just, when people robbed you, it was tangible. They weren't doing all these hacking accounts. They would just come up to you and rob you. The days I remember. Not that I've ever been just robbed. I've probably been like victimized in other ways in life, which I try not to judge any victim of any crime because you just don't know what it's like to be in those shoes. You can't say, oh, well, my victimization is not as bad. I just had my account hacked. But the next person how they were victimized was somebody assaulted them physically. Either way, now y'all have both become victims. You can't sit there and compare what victimized you and the next person. Mm-mm. To me, that makes no sense. If like it's one thing for your account just to be hacked. That's what we're talking about this morning. Not that it has happened to me. This is called a live stream of awareness. I can tell people it haven't happened to me because by choice, for a long time until this year, I chose not to have a bank account. The things you be thinking be just little bitty choices, keep making them. I don't care how small or tiny that choice seems to be. As long as you know it was your choice and you had the right to, because people will try to hold and use your choices against you, and that's fine. That should make us more aware as far as not just making our choices, but understand why we make the choices that we make. Because you do know people don't have to go put their money in the bank. They choose to do that. But see, I'm not going to say anybody deserves being hacked just because they put their money in a bank. Because it's some people who have no bank at all, who just use mobile banking, who can still tell you they've had experiences where their mobile banking was hacked at some point, or somebody was able to make an account spin or some kind of unauthorized purchase with their account, and they had no idea about it. So where people's frustration had begun to come in at, they just feel like the banks weren't moving fast enough. They didn't even have it's like they weren't prepared for it. Maybe they still aren't, but it's sad. You're not going to pay me to believe it's just people in the outside world sitting here hacking people's bank accounts. You notice how a lot of government workers have been laid off or maybe even fired in some places, but we say that correlates with the government shutdown. That the government shutdown caused this and that. No, who y'all think next? If these banks don't get it together, in my opinion, once again, anything I state on this stream is just my opinions, commentary, in reaction to very real issues in the world right now. Because how is that not an issue? You never know who's going to be hacked next. The only real way to make that your account is not being hacked, your whole bank account. I see people get mad over social media accounts, over gaming accounts. So just imagine their bank account. That would make anybody mad. That's where all your money was. All your hard earned working money is in your bank account. Sometimes even we might feel rejected by certain creditors and credit line people. For a long time, I just gave up on it. Like, I'm not finna keep going out here trying to apply for something where people are readily, some excitedly, readily. It's like I'm trying to find a way to describe it. To decline you, to decline you services, to decline you offers, to decline you even a mere application. An application ain't even you. That's just you trying to apply. You ain't even filled it out yet. It's like these days they do. They be excited, really excited. There was a period in the history of our country, like, people were happy to see young people try to get a start or a new venture on their life and really go the right way about things. If they even seen you enroll in a technical college or just go somewhere to get skills, like, you were praised for that. That's why the people, they've went from the ways of earning our praise to just wanting to be praised. Even God Almighty himself, in my opinion, when I think about it, he earns his praise. People don't just go out there praising God because their situation is full of gold all the time. If that was the case, then God would be known for just being praised because people always have gold. We know it don't work like that, but it be people wouldn't walk around here just being praised for being them. The only person we do that to is God Almighty. Other than that, why do you not have to earn your praise and everybody else do? Even God, I was saying he don't have to probably earn praise, but he just naturally does because of how he earns his. That's crazy. So when people talk about spiritual wars and battles, I bet they thought that they probably never thought about how much money has to do with something like a spiritual war. Don't you notice one of the main things the devil uses to get to people's emotions, to get to people's hearts, is money? Money might be a positive thing, and yes, you can go earn it, but it's also the same thing. A whole group of people, other different types of people that walk around here, they have a whole different type of mentality. Every day we wake up, it's just people out there. I don't try to psych myself out about it, thinking about it, but it is worth, considering these days. Any step, I'm not saying I think their agenda is to make us scared to go get money, because you're still encouraging people to go to work, to do something with their lives so they can provide for their families. So you're not trying to fear people out of making money. That's not an agenda that I feel like is. I'm pointing out, like, look how these news stories is showing you. People steady asking, why are they doing digital Bitcoin? Digital currency soon, digital IDs and digital everything under one system. Soon. In some places, like we've talked about on a few streams this week, they've already rolled that out. They're using digital IDs already. Some people think it's a good thing. It depends. If they've been through, if you've already been a victim of identity fraud before, which it could take, I don't even want to think about how many years it could take a person to even try to go back to a regular life after something like that. But at least with digital ID, I wouldn't say it's a clean slate. It's kind of like it might give that illusion, like, here's a clean slate or a new way to identify yourself. Because who would you have to identify yourself to? You don't ask yourself for identification every day. I mean, this was some people's opinions. They said with a lot of these major banks when they was calling, if you read the news stories, because some victims, they don't mind sitting there, they can't get their money back. Why not sit and do a documentary story or interview? Some of them, they did. I'm saying in that moment when it happens to you, you're not just finna get your money back immediately. You do. You gotta call the bank, let them know what's going on. Hey, that withdrawal or that spend or that purchase was not mine. Even after that, they have processes. It has to be put under their investigation radar. And that's where they're saying you can receive provisional credit sometimes if you're approved. And they say, yeah, we're looking at it. We see what happened to you. We're going to go ahead and approve you this money while we work on, you know what I'm saying, figuring out what happened with your other money. It's just a sad thing to see people go through. Cause I noticed they have these viral TikToks and internet memes and stuff where they're kind of mocking, I guess, who they feel like BEGS on the internet or on social media. Cause to me, anywhere you beg is begging. They're just calling out that it's crazy that they feel like people do it on the internet now. They said they'll get on there and be like, they'll just tell people to send them money. I mean, there's just been many stories, viral stories, and memes and compilations people have, put together to show us, that there are a lot of, because y'all be like, content creators are doing this. First of all, to me, everybody is not a content creator just because they use social media. That's weird. They're not even a social media influencer if they don't meet certain right. Let's remember there's categories. You have social media users, social media influencers. Just because you have a profile and interact with social media from time to time does not make you an influencer. It's usually the influence itself. Once again, we were talking about earning praise and how people think praise and all that don't have nothing to do with money. Yes, it do. That's why even in spiritual war, the devil do use money to tempt people. Like, it's a whole real thing. People willing to say that part. Like, yeah, there's a spiritual battle, a spiritual war going on out here. It's Sunday, and I'm not even considering myself preaching, but this is real. It don't have to be Sunday for you to talk, I don't know, just kind of reflect on the Bible, like how a lot of it makes sense. When I reference to it, that's my whole purpose of doing it. It just makes sense. It always probably made sense, but it's more prevalent today, like how money, even somebody being hacked like that, somebody being hacked or robbed like that, like, because, the older people out here, they don't understand, probably some of the younger people either. How you understand depositing money in your account and then it's just gone within hours? It was that part of the article that specifically that caught my eyes, right? Before you even, let's say, open your next account or whatever, right? Or use the one you actively have again now. You're seeing stories like that on the news. Hey, man deposits. This story said $4,000, and I forgot to do that, but I'm going to go back to doing it like I once was. People was trying to compare my work to work they're doing now or something. Now, every state has work laws, and depending on the industry, there might be regulations and laws. Y'all know how they go. But if you see a person clearly just coming back to work after having a baby, like brushing up on their skills, they not even fully working yet. Like, they just, yeah, let me throw this out here like a fishing rod. Like, let me see if I still got it. Some people might say that's not working, but yeah, any energy or time you put into training, prepping, right? Anything that prepares you to start the job is also work. So that's just the facts. People notice, they be hoping that you can make something else look so strong that you can overlook the facts. That's all it is with the devil. Because, see, facts would have a lot to do with the truth, right? So people want to know, what are the facts when it comes to, you have to look at your banking institution specifically. Every banking institution, as we know, does not operate the same. They some of them even have different account options, like different account type options, and then per account type option, they might have different rules and regulations. That's kind of your job to be reading through and scanning through and going over and saying, hey, does this work for me? People should definitely be reading the part where it talks about, hey, this is our policy if you ever so happen to be hacked, if you ever so happen to be uh, robbed any one of your accounts. These are our provisions. Like this, these are the steps that we advise that you take. You can usually find answers like this in the questions and answers tab of any financial banking institution's website that you might use. They do try to make this information, I can't even deny that. They always have try to have this type of information available for their customers. Or you usually just call their customer service number and you can learn more about your account, more about options you have, more about what steps you can take when you just raising awareness about that a little bit. Remember, I was just saying on the two streams we were doing yesterday, should the services and resources and assistance meet the people more instead of it's set up where the people, if they don't reach out and call for help or say something happened to them, they might not receive none at all. A bank should see that on their own. You should, if somebody withdraw $4,000 out your account without your permission, the bank should catch that before you do. That's what tell tell people it's something a little different going on here. Like they've obviously found more creative and crafty ways to maybe get these type of crimes done without the bank even noticing. That's what's scary about it. Because how are you calling the bank before the bank is calling you about some activity like that on your account? I think it used to be with certain withdrawal amounts, they might email you or text message you a certain notification at least to let you know, like, and that's probably how that person found out too. They probably texted them or something, like, yeah, you just spent $4,000. This person was probably at work, literally trying to make more money, but you trying to tell them. Oh, they also been gave disclaimers about that, warnings out there to the public, like you have to watch some of those incoming notifications that it'll tell you it's a bank or it'll tell you that it's your banking institution, because you can have an online mobile banking too, but it's not always them. Like there's scammers who are unfortunately pretending to be debt collectors and financial institutions. So that's another way that they get people. Banks main thing as they come out and give their public statements, they just be like, uh, you know, just be wise. We would never just reach out to you and ask you for certain information. That's common sense. Once you done open a bank account and you just actively using a bank account, why would they just be calling you for your personal information that you already gave them when you open the bank account? You gotta watch stuff like that. It's just like, what a time to be alive. But we can't deny, like, it's totally showing why they might have to, why they're already moving that direction of digital IDs and digital currency. People said they were sitting back watching, like, what are they going to do about security? The security of the future of people's bank accounts. Come on, Pooh. Yeah, it's absolutely no wonder that they're rolling these different type of digital systems out. I feel like if anything, that's where we'll see the more heightened security. Because like, why would you roll out a whole new system and it's not prepared for the same stuff the old system is going through? So that's why I say some some people are happy to see these digital ID currency things come out for people's protection just so they can protect their identities better. Others believe total different things, like maybe the digital ID and digital currency systems have to do with the mark of the beast and people should just stay away from it. But like I said, verifying your identity was never for you. You know who you are, right? The people who only ever needed to verify our identities is like out in society every day. You know, kind of got to see who's who. And it's just really sad that a time we're actually witnessing this. A time in the world came where people just even play with identities like that on a way master scale, on a way larger board. They just didn't care anymore. They feel like, well, if we want a better life, even if it's temporary, we're just gonna use up we're just gonna use up people's identities, right? It's just crazy. So the person said their money was gone within hours of on this news article of them making a large deposit and then they turn around and $4,000 was missing. I don't know why they be putting the name and the city and all that it happening in, because it just goes to show you it could happen anywhere and to anybody. I'm actually glad more news stories are being shared about it. Okay, just as frequent as they want to run this on people, just as quickly as people should be talking about it. They quick to run the scam. Trust me. Like I said, look at it. You've been talking about that, like how we gotta pay more attention at the timing of stuff. But this, we mean the timing literally. Like you just deposited and it gets swiped, like swipe or no swiping, like but swiper actually swiped and you just deposited. That's the kind of stuff that make people have mental breaks. That's their whole hard earned money. I told you we live in a generation today though that people don't want to earn the praise no more. They just want to look the part for the praise, I guess. Earning it, you don't get just 4,000 sitting in your bank account out of nowhere. You had to work for it, you had to earn it somehow. But them be the same type of funds in people's life that people just feel entitled to. And maybe they say, well, it just seems experimentish. If people ask me, it gives experiment vibes. Because, see, the more and more they do with the internet, some of us are still remembering that it ain't even been here long. It ain't even been out on the market that long. Wi-Fi. The highest speeds of Wi-Fi data, like 5G. Let's remember, it started at 3G, then 4G. Some were teaching, doing little councils about that. Like, hey, well, they just were saying they didn't think that, let's remember that, they didn't think that the going to 5G networks was going to be good for society. But only time will tell, right? Only time can tell us about that. They were saying it's something, when it comes to all this data and Wi-Fi, going back to that, it's, you're not trying to make it about science and stuff all the time. Look how the world just consists of so much science. So I don't mean to reverence the science so much, but They said some kind of radiation and different things that also radiate out of whole Wi-Fi data. What the very source that people use to be who they are on the internet. That's like abusing gasoline. We know you shouldn't abuse it. It's such a necessity. Like to me, certain things are just off limits. But we have a generation of silly heads that just want to touch all the limits. Let me tell y'all why people are like that. People that don't mind crossing limits and boundaries and thresholds. It can be a positive thing, but it can also be bad. And the people that do it for bad with bad intentions, just cross territories, boundaries, and stuff like that. Uh, it's because they're used to doing it. You notice when certain stuff happen, they'll probably show you the suspect. They'll probably show you, oh, we apprehended, like rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. His most recent incident. When stuff like that happen, right? Like they'll show, like, oh, we apprehended the shooter, or but they never go into further detail. Like, okay, who's the shooter parents and who raised the shooter? Where did the shooter come from? You know, because why was their loved one just so in a place that they feel like they can do what they want to do and hurt people? Yeah, like I think people like that just used to getting what they want. I don't know. I'm not telling people nothing new, but it makes you think about it. To see it happen at such a large scale these days, on such a large scale, it's crazy. Hi, baby. I'm like, and if we notice, it didn't even take long. Like people haven't been laid off long, even before all these mass layoffs. Card and bank scams, apparently it seemed like were still happening to people. Sometimes thousands of people at a time, right? They might call it a data breach. So we were talking about the Wi-Fi, though. Wi-Fi and data in itself, like, where do people think they come from? Out of thin air? There's whole towers outside, radiations and things that leak off of these towers. Like literally, people should think about it more. It's people probably out here allergic to Wi-Fi. They never did studies to see how it really affects people. They did though, but you don't want to look at that. It got to be something else in a person's life when just about everybody has Wi-Fi in their home. Imagine having Wi-Fi that already naturally comes with some scientific chemical dangers. Oh, especially if you have those router boxes or Wi-Fi boxes. Trust me, there's documentaries out there about it. It's not a secret. Just like you can be allergic, allergic to maybe bees or salt. People, peanuts, people be allergic to different things. So just imagine a certain level, even if it's just low levels of radiation being sparked out at you every day. That's not normal. Just so you can walk around and have a Bluetooth connection or a Wi-Fi connection or data, because all of this comes from towers. People walk around with the actual physical devices. Like I said, that's just showing you the lower level of how it affects people. They walk around with those and feel in control of those. You'll never be in control of what Wi-Fi does to people. Scientifically, just go research it. Scientifically, it can affect your physical health, any type of too much radiation. That's why they tell people do not sleep with the phones by your head, by your tummy. Certain sensitive places, you shouldn't fall asleep with it right there. Like, you shouldn't get in a habit of doing that. Your whole putting radiation to your physical temple every time you do that. It don't matter. They want to be kings and queens with the devices, though. A great recommendation, movie recommendation for you guys. I think the name of it. I know they got a Black Phone Part 2 coming out for Halloween in theaters this year, but I'm not talking about that movie. This one is just called Phone. It's not called Black Phone. I think it's just called. Oh no, that ain't the name of it, y'all. It's called Cell. Cell. It has that one actor in it. I can't think of his name right now. I'm literally seeing the image of his face, but I can't think of his name. What is that actor's name? Anyways, it shows you. I love that movie. It got to be on my favorite top 10 right now because it just shows you what could potentially happen. It was like a storyline of what could happen if phones just made everybody crazy, go crazy one day. Literally. Like turn into zombie-like state and just really start acting different. Like they went from humans to pretty much just radio bots. It was crazy. How the body literally may very well be. That movie showed you, like, what if we are just portals? That's it. Each and every one of us. People be talking about where the portals are, or how to create portals, and the whole time we ourselves are portals. How does demonic possession, let's just not even say demonic, let's just say possession, how does that even happen? You being able to take over somebody's full will, like they whole full self-will. That's like you just walked into that person's portal, right? Because how do you take over somebody's self-will? You're not close to them at all. You don't have nobody close to them at all. Like, how would you do it? You got to have some type of connection, some type of branch, like a portal. We are portals. But back to the Wi-Fi part that I was talking about, we're not trying to scare people. It's really still not too late to like research that kind of stuff so that you know how much of that, like some people just choose not to have TVs, Wi-Fi. They actually live like this on purpose. They live, it's called more off grid. They don't want that much like internet stuff in their air in their home every day. Some people they've gone to live in RV homes without Wi-Fi and stuff too. Just live more off grid because they were claiming that the Wi-Fi and data and stuff was making them sick. There are some stories out there, y'all. It just is. It's too late. It's documentaries already about it where people believe that them at one point in their life, when they lived closer to cell phone towers, Wi-Fi towers, when they had Wi-Fi around them in their workplaces, some workplaces or schools, that those are other environments where it might be a lot of Wi-Fi. Okay, she would just get sick a lot. Like she would feel less energized, and it was some things some of those victims were saying of why they changed their whole lifestyles. Like, okay, now I'm finna go live in a camper. Of course, she started eating better at that part of lifestyle, right? Just to feel more healthier. But she also noticed once she removed her physical being away from more, which you can, like she was saying, never fully disconnect because it's everywhere. There's like Wi-Fi towers everywhere. But there are ways you can like distance yourself from them. And she said as soon as she started doing that, she started feeling better. I thought it was interesting to bring up for a second. Can we talk about those topics again? But people are wondering, why are people acting different, funny, or more angry these days and stuff like that? Well, ask how much are they using the internet? That's whole direct connection and access to radiation, Wi-Fi, data every time you access the internet. And that's not even asking what you're doing when you're on it. Like the what you're using the energy. It's just crazy. Like to think, every time we use our phone, are we agreeing to exchange energy with these devices? You naturally you naturally have energy because you're using it to indulge in whatever you're doing with the device, whether it's positive or negative. That's your energy. That shows you have energy. You're able to sit there and text a text message. You're able to sit there and play a game, whatever it is that you're using the technology for. I'm not trying to demonize technology, but if we have to show technology's demons, just like people try to show our demons with the technology, they 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 call themselves using the internet to abuse people. Because how did that victim's bank account get scammed for $4,000? You would have had to use the internet to do that to somebody. I don't have to know the victim personally. It's a horrible thing to happen to anybody. Hey, 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 get up. Are you done? No. Okay. It's a horrible thing. And I know there's no way you can steal money out of somebody's bank account without using the internet somehow. It shows you how some people use their energy. Is it because what if it is some type of exchange? Like every time you use the internet, you're using your energy. But what are you using your energy to do? Because you're using the internet's energy to do whatever you're finna do on the internet. Not even understanding what all it takes to actually produce what they call internet. Not understanding. You think those towers are just sitting out there, huh? They have nothing to do with the connections in people's homes. Uh, yeah, because that's where people's devices are. That's where their Wi-Fi and data is. It has nothing to do with people's businesses or work sites. Okay. Everybody loves the internet too, but that movie just showed how people kind of went crazy. What happened is suddenly all these notifications start going off on everybody in the world phone at the same time in this movie. And some of them, their phones had blew up. It's just a crazy movie. Like their device phones just blew up. So some people had actually died. Because if it blow up in your hand or it blow up on your face while you talking on the phone, they died or they had severe injuries. Very severe injuries. That alone should be scary to people. They already be telling you that phones can overheat. It's a lot of electronic devices that can overheat that people don't really pay attention to like they should. Like some things you can overcharge them. Like it's already at 100%, take it off the charger, right? But if you overcharge it as well, that can be another way that you're putting yourself in danger because the whole device could just blow up while you sleep or something, or while you gone. I don't know what's worse. Sorry, guys, that was a long pause break. Because in between this early morning afternoon, uh, my baby girl woke up and she wants some cereal. So I'm going to be preparing a bowl of cereal as I continue this live stream. Hopefully I gave you guys something to reflect on though, because it's very serious how much Wi-Fi might be affecting people and they don't even know it. Both physically and some other things, because they said more people have become more clinically depressed, and it has absolutely nothing to do with their finances or any particular thing. They're clinically depressed because it's how the internet affected their minds. Ain't that scary to know? Like, them trying to keep up with the status quo all the time. And they're always comparing themselves to other people all the time. Because now they're using the internet more. Where they have more access to what you would call beauty standards. And what other people say it takes to be beautiful. The internet has totally gave people clinical depression. So it is worth thinking about. Like, some people are already taking their money out of banks. They've been start doing it. I don't know. Don't ask me where they putting it, because we do understand why people use banks. But if you're taking it out of the banks, where are you putting it? Or what are you going to do with it? I don't know why people... That's why treasures exist today. What they call treasures or hidden treasures. Because people back in the day tried that before too. Obviously, people went and buried gold and money and treasures. Why do you think somebody else found it? Obviously, the people that go bury it, it's not always likely that they're gonna go back and be able to get it. So I don't get people's purpose with like burying stuff when there's so much purpose. Money and gold could always be used for. Like, why out of all things go bury it? You go help 50,000 people that ain't ate in a week in a foreign country, right? Like, why is it so controlled like that? If people want to feed that many people, they be able to. They shouldn't have to send the money through a third party organization who disperse the money out all the time. Why why people can't set up their own? Because it's probably going to start taking it. If you have the government cutting off more programs, who did you think is being left to help people? The people would have to either come together more as communities, or they would probably group up. Like, they all in different groups and communities, because how would you survive? We're not saying you can't, but it's a lot of things being shut down right now, even if it's temporarily closed. Just things that, I don't know. We're outliving the days where you could just tell people to go to work. Like, do you know what kind of transition is happening before our eyes? Literally right now. Since the year 2025 started. Just to begin with. But these changes, you saw them slowly happening. We're not trying to put people in a state of fear about spending money. Um, like me, I just noticed something. I saw a guy on a short yesterday. He literally made his own cereal at home. I think that's what he do on his channel though. Like, he just creates different flavors of cereals right from home, and then he'll pour some milk and eat it. Like, he bought it at the store. And it was so funny because a little after I watched that clip, I ended up needing to do a small grocery order. And I just been telling myself for a minute that being a mom with kids, like, it's funny to think about, but even I like cereal. Like, it's certain ones that I've grown to, like certain brands, like Special K or Life. What's another one? I've always liked Life. It's just got a natural cinnamon taste to it. Like a natural, like you don't have to add sugar, anything. You might add a few pieces of fruit in the morning, and you can eat that whole cold cereal on the go. But in my opinion, the cereal prices have gotten outrageous. What, baby? What, Pooh? You want some more? Oh, okay. Here. Hey, don't do that. Be nice. Yeah, cereal is just out of control. When you hold on, y'all. When you see cereal cost $7.59, like I think these tariffs are starting to kick in or something, but one box of cereal should never cost $7 anything. Even if it's a bigger value, one box, like you don't even get two boxes. For the value pack, I'll pay $7 for two king size boxes. $7 for one box of cereal. I just couldn't find myself doing it. I don't even think like if I had plenty of money scattered everywhere to spare that I would be buying $7 box of cereal. When you can buy with $7, you can buy 7 cans of beef stew at the Dollar Tree. Literally. Like you gonna eat for a longer stretch. A box of cereal gonna be gone in a few days if you eat it persistently. Um 7 cans of beef stew though, you got a meal for sure for at least 3 days straight. You can eat one in the morning and at night, but you're eating off of $7. Cause the days we living in, people just hacking and spamming people's accounts left and right. I guess they thought that's how they was gonna end the world. No, dummies, they heighten the security. And they don't have to tell you what they're working on, how they're doing it either. We're getting a little hint and clue with digital ID and digital currency starting to roll out. Some of this new digital currency, you know, it will probably be like that. I don't think they're going to leave it as like facial recognition and fingerprints. I think they're going to even have more heightened security than the things we currently see. Heightened security options is what I mean. But I'm for the people, but I will point out whereas we the people sometimes also have allowed so much stupid stuff, you cannot blame why certain changes are starting to roll out in the country. You sat back, some of these people, they'll never admit it. You sat back and watched like, of course you watched it, especially if you ended up being a victim to the stuff people were doing. I just think that must have been their mindset, like, oh yeah, we're just gonna hack everybody to death. We're gonna have social media profiles, bank accounts. That's the minds of the people. As if they can't create a whole more heightened security for this stuff. And if you started making a living off of doing that to people and they switch and tighten the security, what are you gonna do then? It still don't make it safer for the ones that was just making normal livings. That's why I don't blame them. If they were considering universal basic income for people, I can't be mad at them. They can call it what they want to. A lot of people say it's New World Order. But is that what we ended up having to resort to at the end of the day? Look, people cannot continue to blame the government for that. When you had the free will right to go out there and make as much money as you wanted to, what was people out here doing? Universal basic income pretty much is where it like a stipend. It would be kind of like a stipend, like a certain amount of money that's the same amount of money per household. It probably would change for the households that see the last time they tried that too, they saw it was a little jealousy in the streets. I saw that. I mean, I'm like, boy, there's no telling what the government and the people, when it comes to the back and forth, what's all been truly going on out here. But all they tried to do, they was like, okay, we're gonna help the people. We're gonna turn on a child tax credit, or we're gonna turn on certain benefits that were everybody were entitled to. But if you had kids, it just meant you got a little more, a higher increase. That's all, which makes sense because it's not just that person by themselves if they have kids, or if they have custody of their grandkids or whatever kids. So, though everybody was applicable for this same benefit, the ones with kids, as it goes with most other benefits that have always existed in America, if you had kids, of course you're going to be approved for a little more because those are more, it's based off your household size. And most people, that's what helps to increase their household size, I guess. The kids that live in the house, okay? How many individuals is it? So yeah, they will give you more money depending on what the benefit was or is. They will give you more money, so y'all have what you need. You had people running around here, out here jealous or suddenly wanted to, well, whose kids or where can I get in? No, if your kids was grown or you didn't have kids, you shouldn't have been out here, just like with this story with Bank of America and whoever hacked that man. If they have kids, they have more mouths every day to naturally feed. And we're not saying anybody's kids are more. That's when I saw this is a deeper problem. I've sat here and watched the government try to pass out certain benefits and stuff to help people, and I saw how people acted. Instead of them being a part of the praise team of we the people, where they could have been excited, like, okay, well, even if I don't get as much as the next person in this certain benefit, good for them. They have kids and they get a little more. That shouldn't even be anybody's concern. But people knew about it because as it rolled out, they told people about how it was going to work. Child tax credit anyway, it speaks for itself. It's for the children. You still had people running around out here jealous that they couldn't get the child tax. Okay, you're grown now, but if you had been a kid during this generation, during the pandemic, your mother, father, pappy, whoever would have got an extra provisional credit from the government because you have a child in the household if you would have opted in for it. Okay? That's how they work. So that's an example of stuff you saw them try to help the people with. That is very sad and embarrassing to know. Like, because they probably sat back in higher seats and watched it and saw it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I said it. Somebody needed to say it. It's just like, it's hard to help people. And I don't care who life it is. You saw what those people was going through in Gaza recently with the whole hunger strike and all of this. Like, they were trying to bring aid in and get food in there. And then I heard it was just a little unorganized. It was a lot with that. But it just seemed to always, it's more of that prevalent. Like, it's got to be a whole nother group that feel like, well, if they getting it, everybody just feel entitled to whatever now. What is help anymore? just because a group of people felt like that out here. If you want to network with the help, network with the help, but don't sit there and spend all your days in life saying, well, I'm going to just envy the help for the rest of my life, and I'm going to envy anybody they help and the help. That's crazy. Become a part of the help. Become a part of the help before you just willing to come ask for it anyway, right? That's different asking a shoe store, can I clean your windows every day for free? And then you ask the shoe store for a pair of free shoes. No, people just want to be entitled to that type of praise off the rip. Why should that shoe store give you a free pair of shoes? Like, why should they owe you that just because you saw them help another person with a pair of free shoes? Why should they get it to you? And you shouldn't be out here trying to make them feel like they should have to because of what you saw them do for another person. That's the type of societal thinking is prevalent in the world today. I have seen this with my eyes, and it felt a little silly. It felt a little childish, not from my part, but they say secondhand embarrassment is real. And just ask me, they talk about humiliation rituals. I'm like, do secondhand embarrassment count? Because I do get embarrassed by other people's stuff all the time. All the time. People just get mad because you starting to speak on it more. Like, hey, maybe something you just did embarrassed me. And they like, well, they have nothing to do with you. What they did could have had nothing to do with me at all. Or secondhand embarrassment. Like, you literally feel how they should feel. Why should I have secondhand embarrassment and I'm not even the one it's happening to, right? But I have felt that. I'd be lying if I said I've never felt that in life. Like, somebody else fall and I feel embarrassed for them. Like, they don't even know it. My heart full of embarrassment for them in that very moment. Like, I just have always naturally felt stuff like that. So it's nothing to be embarrassed of. I just wonder, so I know people have that with me too sometimes. Like, yeah, they might feel like they feel my quote unquote embarrassment, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Because it is called secondhand embarrassment. It's just been a lot of that. That is embarrassing for you to feel entitled to something because somebody else is. It's childish. Because depending on how far that goes, you could possibly, potentially, I don't know, just start a lot of confusion because all people at the end of the day was making their own choices. You can't make a person feel like because they do something for another person, oh, this person got a bank account, they got money in it, I'ma just hack it. Like, come on, bro. Morally, nobody wants to hear it. Morally, that's just wrong. We know it's possible because people been out here doing it, but does that mean you should do it? Come on. That's why Nicki Minaj's little story going viral right now. Because somebody just did that to her account. Now, she probably wasn't with Bank of America like this news story was showing. But it shows it even more. It doesn't matter. What do people not get? That's crazy because they be like, well, just use mobile banking to try to protect yourself. Mobile banking it's like it comes back down to that. The question of security. Because mobile banking is scary too. We know everything on your phone. Mobile banking will have to be on a device or on your phone. That's the only way you will be able to log in, check it, check your deposits, check your account activity, right? On the actual phone. That's why, to me, them they favorite type to go after. They go after anything, it looks like. Major banks, small banks, but on them phones, it's scary. I'm so glad they going to digital. They already got what you call digital wallet, though. Y'all know what I'm talking about. They got Google Wallet, Apple Wallet, okay? But I'm talking about like a more secure, where everything, it looks like it's just going to be on a more secure database. If everybody, like I was talking about, the universal basic income idea that they were proposing a while ago, it probably is in that big beautiful bill that was passed. Who knows? That's the name of the bill too. It's called the big beautiful bill, y'all. They're not hiding anything. Like, they're showing you We don't know unless we sat there and read all of it. We don't know what's all finna come, but you can kind of see why. Society can't keep going like that, and people can just, you got all these hard-working people, and other people just hacking them all day. And that's what they doing for work. And they've made it that noticeable. They sitting right from home doing that all day for their job. And it's people out here actually working very hard, not seeing a dime or a penny for their work. Of course, society wouldn't continue to go like that. At least with universal basic income, it's saying that they agree with everybody receiving a monthly stipend. Now, how you spend it is going to be, I guess, on you. Sit up here. Maybe the last stipend I heard was $2,000, right? Some people were saying, that ain't even enough to cover my mortgage, my rent. Well, that's the purpose. Universal basic income might be reserved for those who aren't able to work or can't work or something like that. If you feel like that ain't enough, you go to work. I don't think they're going to be letting people get it. Plus, if I was the president, I don't see how it could be any problems, though. If everybody, as long as they make under a certain threshold amount at work, I would say they could still get a certain stipend plus work. Start paying people, just start giving them bonuses for coming to work. You don't see employers doing that yet. Like, hey, here, because you didn't miss a day of work in 2 years, here's an extra $20,000 bonus. You don't hear people getting that yet. You know what I'm saying? So you can't get mad at the people who are complaining about the hack, you know? Like, no, you just expect them to go to work, all their money in their bank account, and the person can hack their bank account at any moment. It seems like secondhand embarrassed a little bit. Move. Stop. Don't do that.
Sorry.
No, leave it alone. No, leave it alone. Don't touch it. Thank you. Okay. Okay. Leave it alone. Do not close it anymore. Anyways, what are some tips of awareness you might want to take when you notice that you are a victim of this? You might want to freeze your credit. You might want to definitely call the bank as soon as possible and let them know about unauthorized transactions. Most of them have a customer service line that's 24 hours. The ones that don't, I don't know why they wouldn't. As often as some of these crimes happen, they need a hotline for every bank where people can report when this has happened to them. I would just say once they already stealing your money, that's the pretty much evidence you have there that they've stolen your identity too. Because how are you able to do all that? Now, we talked about the part where they probably have to have or use devices to do it. But wouldn't you need personal information of a person to be doing that type of stuff? So it's just scary. They think, oh, the quieter you keep it, it's okay. Like, no, that's crazy. You are playing with people's whole livelihoods like that. Pretty much, if you think about it. Sit down, Boom. Sit down. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. Thank you. Shh, Morgan, sleep. Here. Let her sleep. It's so crazy how people could think you're on the worst side of the compass or the map that you could be, and the whole time you could be exactly where God called you to be. He knew you were going to be the same person that you are, and how sometimes it's, no matter how simple your life seems, it can still seem so much to the next person. You feel like you settle for the simple things in life, and that's when they I was like, oh, people stealing this stuff. You would think they would have been around doing that more when I had money. Like, how are you doing it when people are barely making it? Like, look what's going on in the country right now. From homelessness to benefits being cut off. That's what really showed the demons in people. They start stealing worse then, but it's expected. I mean, you got more people hurting and hungry. There was some viral TikToks of people making jokes that they were going to go start stealing from grocery stores if it came down to it. I don't know why they think that's going to be so easy. Okay, you ruin the grocery stores, you just crashing it down even faster. They just be thinking of the stupidest ideas, bro. Because if they have to put military at the grocery stores, don't think they won't. You're not just going to be able to run in there and do that. While the prices are jacked up, why would you think you would be able to do that? Yeah, people might be getting away with that now, but if they already making cuts, the trucks are having shortages, the container ships are having shortages. That's just a temporary fix to sit there and start stealing from the same people that's amidst you that are struggling with you. Now, if you, because eventually that's what happens to resources. Sometimes they're plenteous, sometimes eventually they run out. And that's where you see a lot of changes too that have to happen. Oil was always known as a plenteous resource, water. But if something was to happen to go wrong with the river or the whole water source is infected, then you're quickly humbled. Like, oh my God, now we got to do all of this for water. When people should just be thinking like that every day. The more you crash out and the quicker you crash out doing it, you're gonna literally do that. You're gonna crash everything out. I know God was watching it because he made me feel his heart with it. How he feels like so many plenteous resources were literally like, he understands people using the resources for the land, but like abused. And it wouldn't always be by the people you think. Like his natural earth resources. How else do you humble a people until they notice those resources are not so plenty anymore? Then who do they become? If they were abusive with the resources to begin with, you already saw who they were. Because, like, it's going to show if you're evenly and equally distributing. Like, why would it be so much chaos? Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm ending it now.